The number 1 seeded team in the tournament is Sinjin Smith and Randy Stoklos, and Chris Marlowe. They have had a bumpy road.
Well, they had a great win over Powers and Luty's 15-7, but then Smith and Stoklos lost to Andrew Smith, Sinjin's brother, and Verbalovich 7-15. They defeated Walmer and Wirtz, then got by Hanley and Stevenson, then got revenge, defeating Andrew Smith and Verbalovich 15-9.
For the number 2 seeded team, it has been easy for Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd.
Easily over Larry Muir and Jantz, Hanley, Stevenson, and Andrew Smith Verbalovich. They've had no problem.
We're ready to start 1 game to 15. Tim Hovland there in the black tank top. His partner is Mike Dodd. Both stand in at about 6'4", 6'5". And of course their opponents are the number 1 seeded team of Randy Stoklos and Sinjin Smith. Sinjin in the hat. His team will start and Sinjin will put it in play. With the pier in the background, the weather is just about ideal for beach volleyball. Fairly cool out there. And Sinjin serves Tim Hovland. Bump set by Dodd, and Hovland hits it right down the line. Stoklos goes over, though, with the set, and that's a mistake. And as a result, Hovland puts it away. That is a side out.
Very important for the team of Smith-Stoklos to get off to a good start. Hovland and Dodd, they won the winner's bracket. They are well rested. The longer the match goes, the better for Hovland and Dodd.
2-hand set by Stoklos. And Tim Hovland has no problem blocking that. He is getting out of that sand really well.
That's what Hovland is known for, hitting and blocking at the net. And when he's fresh, he can really get over the net. Ball is served. Watch Hovland. He sticks his hand behind his back, telling Dodd to stay in the angle because I got the line. And he stuffs it down, the Hov.
The set was really not ideal either, which made it difficult for Sinjin Smith. So they lead 1-0. Mike Dodd, 30 years old, a native of Manhattan Beach, puts it in play.
Oh,
and again, it's blocked by Hovland.
Unbelievable. They're serving Smith. That's the usual strategy, but Hovland blocking at the net. This time he takes the other angle. Good pass. Set is perfect. Smith tries to crank the angle, and Hovland just stuffs it down. Good choice by Tim.
Crowd here in Manhattan Beach like it very much. Tim Hovland, he's not from Manhattan Beach, but he now lives in Manhattan Beach. Now they go the other way to Stoklos, and he is dug by Dodd. Oh, great dig by Sinjin Smith right there. Tim Hovland is called over by game referee Matt Gage. He says he reached over too quickly.
And the problem there, you're not allowed to contact the ball before the attacker has a chance to swing at it. That was the call. What a great dig by Sinjin Smith. Boy, can he move. And that's the key for Smith and Stoklos, their defense.
So that is a side out. Smith and Stoklos will now serve, and they are talking it over as to which player they should serve and maybe should they block or not.
Well, they're going to block. There's no doubt about that. Randy Stoklos is up there, and Smith is telling him, look, get up there and stuff a couple. Normally, they will serve Mike Dodd. We'll see if they do.
Easy put away by Tim Hovland for a side out. It's a game to 15 for the championship. You must win by 2.
Interesting strategy by Smith and Stoklos to serve Hovland. That time Randy had to serve him and then run all the way to the net, and he didn't make it.
Tim Hovland, as you see, former national team member, still plays indoors in the wintertime, now professionally in Italy, and gets usually off to a slow start in the summer because of his indoor winter activities.
Well, Hovland and Dodd have won 6 tournaments between them this summer. Compare that to Smith and Stoklos, who have won 15. So Smith and Stoklos have really dominated the beach this summer.
And they get the crowd to settle down a little bit and put the ball in play. 2-hand set by Stoklos.
Come on! Come on! Reads, line!
And Tim Hovland just finds an opening in the sand and puts it away for another point.
The Hov is on fire, and the fans are right behind Hovland and Dodd. Good placement that time. Hovland makes the dig, but watch the open spot open up. Hovland goes up, Stoklos at the net, and the whole right side of the court, and Smith can't cover over there.
So is a quick 3-0 lead here for the team of Hovland and Dodd. Tim Hovland will put the ball in play. His partner, Mike Dodd, former outstanding basketball as well as volleyball player at San Diego State. In fact, was drafted in the NBA. And Hovland, in his own right, was an outstanding basketball player in high school. Could have played Division I competition if he'd wanted to at USC. Sinjin Smith will hit it. Dug by Tim Hovland. And Hovland gets it down with a down-the-line shot.
And give an assist to Mike Dodd, who said down the line. You heard him, down the line. Hov followed it and put it away. What a dig by Hovland this time. Smith hits this ball hard. He just pops it up like it's nothing. The good set. Right now, Dodd is saying, hit line, hit line. And he does. Good communication that time.
So the domination of Hovland and Dodd continues, and as far as the large crowd here in Manhattan Beach is concerned, that's just dandy.
And this crowd doesn't like Smith and Stoklos. They are the villains, and they had problems in a previous match with hecklers, and so perhaps that affected them.
And it might be right now affecting the mind of Randy Stoklos, although nothing affected that shot right there. There was some anger in that.
Well, just before this match started, there was a big argument between Smith and Stoklos and some of the people in the crowd, and they had to come break it up, the security people involved, and perhaps that had distracted them a little.
And as you indicated earlier, Chris Marlowe, Sinjin and Randy don't need a slow start. Bump set by Dodd. Hovland is blocked, but he's right there to get back up again. And he puts it down the line, around the block of Randy Stoklos easily.
Hovland looking very strong. I'm wondering about Smith and Stoklos' strategy to serve Hovland. He's pounding the ball, he's digging the ball, and usually you want to go away from a hot player. I would serve Mike Dodd right now if I were on the other side.
So Mike Dodd taking his time. He is 30 years old, the only one of the four players who is married in this game.
Married to the former UCLA star, Patty Orozco. She plays on the women's circuit. We've seen her before here on ESPN.
And there's another point for the team of Hovland and Dodd as Mike Dodd just puts it down.
Well, maybe you don't want to serve Dodd either.
So they will change sides, a 5-0 lead for Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd. We'll come back to Manhattan Beach. As we look at the 1987 money winners, it has to be very pleasing to Sinjin Smith, who is an economics graduate from UCLA. They're right up there on top.
His banker is smiling. They won $60,000 last year. They stand to make a lot more money this year.
Two-hand set by Stoklos as we're back to volleyball action, but nothing has changed. Tim Hovland still dominating. Great block.
His third stuff block, he's just jamming the ball down. And Smith and Stoklos having trouble just getting the ball by the block. Looks like a good set. Let's see what Smith does on this. Just tries to hit line, and Hovland's right there. And I think what you need to do when Hovland's blocking this well is call a shot. Call a shot over his head into the open area, like deep line.
They tried it right there, but it was deflected still by Hovland.
Oh.
And then he hits it long. It's good, though.
The Hov is on fire. He's unconscious.
7 to serve 0.
He's like Larry Bird. He's just doing everything.
I asked Tim Hovland earlier today what I could tell the viewers at home, and he said, you tell them where there's money, there's the Hov.
And I asked him one time, a long time ago, would you play if there was no money? He said, no money, no Hov. So he has his priorities straight.
One of the characters, and there are many among the beach volleyball players, Tim Hovland. Bump set by Sinjin Smith. Stoklos just drills it right at Dodd, and Dodd can't get it up.
I don't understand that. Hovland and Dodd, they're working on Smith. They're blocking Smith. Now they serve Stoklos, and he just bombs it. He's a little angry anyway. Just crushes it. Dodd takes a shrapnel hit in the shoulder.
Randy Stoklos, obviously one of the big hitters in beach volleyball. There are many, though.
Good dig.
Chance for a point, and they get it. On the scoreboard, Randy Stoklos and Sinjin Smith. Finally, it's not very often they go down 7-0. Now it's 7-1.
Well, remember in one tournament we did, Lynn, I think it was Pacific Palisades, they were up 7-0 in a tournament and lost the tournament. So they really, well, they're fortunate to get on the board. A great play by Sinjin Smith.
Randy Stoklos to serve. Bump pass, bump set by Dodd. Oh, quick move by Sinjin Smith, but he hit it over.
Smith is everywhere, Lynn.
So is Hovland. Mike Dodd sets him. Big block by Randy Stoklos. Great action. That's worth the price of admission right there. Of course, the admission is free, but...
2 to serve 7.
Stoklos tries a little shot. Hov flying through the air. Watch how quick he gets up. But Stoklos right there. He guesses right. Hov tries the line, and Stoklos smart. Left hand reaches out and stuffs it.
So that has to be a big point right there for the team of Smith and Stoklos. When you're down 7-0, you don't feel like you're in the game. Maybe now they do.
You really see the coordination of the block. Stoklos moving to the line, And Smith moving behind him to the right side.
Mike Dodd, he's been there before in the finals of the big ones, as you can see. And so has that man in the hat, Sinjin Smith. High serve by Stoklos. Mike Dodd gets it around Sinjin Smith. Smith digs a lot of them, but he couldn't quite get there on that cut shot.
And one of the first serves we've seen go to Mike Dodd. He hit a ball down the line a little earlier, but Smith and Stoklos have been content to go at Hovland. Good snap by Dodd. If he's got snap on the ball, Hovland and Dodd are very, very tough to beat.
Service Hovland, 7, serving 2.
Everybody wants to win at Manhattan Beach. Actually, your name in beach volleyball is etched in history when you can do that. And, of course, Hovland and Dodd have won it 5 times, so they love this tournament.
And the interesting thing is, Lynn, they have a shirt they make up at Manhattan Beach that has all the winners around in a circle. So if you do win, you're on that shirt. They add a shirt and a star every year for the team that wins. And that's really a thrill when you see your name on there next to Lang and Von Hagen and Bright and all the great players.
A great block by Mike Dodd, and so they'll change sides with a commanding 8-2 lead.
They go to Stoklos, Smith. Pretty good bump set. Look at that block by Dodd. Getting your hands over the net, and the ball just shanked out of bounds. So Mike Dodd and Tim Hovland doing what they do best, blocking at the net.
Coming back here to Manhattan Beach for more beauty contestants and beach volleyball. Back in Manhattan Beach, Lynn Shackelford along with Chris Marlowe. As you can see, Hovland and Dodd are dominating. Matt Gage, the outstanding former player in his own right, is the game referee, as we mentioned. Hovland with another great dig. It does go over, though, so Stoklos will hit again. Hovland gets it up, but also over. In 2, Smith goes over. Not necessarily a pretty point, but one that the crowd enjoys anyway.
And Dodd a little disappointed on that particular play because he hit the ball out of bounds on an easy play. And just thinking mentally, boy, I should put that ball in. One of the rules in volleyball, if you're a young player, is hit the ball in the court. If you don't hit the ball in or you hit the ball in the net, you're not doing your job.
One addition in this tournament, which is new, you'll see some linesmen from time to time right behind the players. Beach volleyball, that is very unusual, and it's new, and the players seem to like it.
Only the second time they've had linesmen. First time was last week at Orange County. And you're right, I think it's good for the fans, too, because they can see the call easier.
Tim Hovland, the former world champion, he has won it every time playing with Mike Dodd. Players change partners from time to time. The team of Hovland and Dodd, though, have been together for a while.
That's why they've been so successful. The teams that stay together longer do much better.
Bump set by Sinjin Smith. Randy Stoklos just dinks it over and long. If there is, as you mentioned, a long dink, that was it.
Deep side out.
I think that landed right on the line, Lynn. So he'll get the side out.
2 looking at 8.
So they now are starting to side out a little bit, and that, I think, is important for Sinjin Smith and Randy Stoklos. Chance for a point right here. Dodd is there, though. Again, a chance for a point. Hovland cannot get it up. So coming back a little bit, Randy Stoklos and Sinjin Smith.
3 to serve 8.
You would have to have figured that they were not that bad to be trailing 7-0, that they would have to make a run sooner or later. They're just too good of a team.
And they're siding out a lot better. They're not allowing the easy points. That's how they're getting back into this match. Interesting, Randy Stoklos with a watch on. All the players wearing watches. I think it's because their broker calls them when the banks in Zurich close. All their money, they got to get their gold bars and their doubloons and find out what's happening out there. A lot of things on their minds that weren't on our minds when we played in the 60s and 70s.
You won, what, a couple times here in Manhattan Beach?
That's right, and I still have my sweatshirt and my trophy that I got for it.
Another golden opportunity here. We got an overcall. Mike Dodd was over on the block, so that's another point for Smith and Stoklos.
And the same play we saw earlier in the match, Dodd contacts it first. Watch him. Over the net, he contacts. Boy, that was almost simultaneous. I'm surprised they didn't call that over. But Matt Gage, you see him in the white hat, right on that play.
Tough call to make, even if you are right down there at the net.
Good. Come here. Come here. Hey, light.
Hovland's got some great terminology, doesn't he? He passes it over. He goes, come here, get that thing over here.
Not known for his lack of confidence, Tim Hovland.
Open the net. Press.
Constantly talking to his partner.
Hovland to serve 8-4.
Been described as volatile.
Maybe the 7-0 lead came too easy for him, and if they aren't careful, their lead could slip away entirely.
Well, sometimes when you score points that easy, you start pressing for points. You don't think about siding out, and that can be a problem. You're not doing your consistent game pass, set, and hit, where Smith and Stoklos really have their game together now.
Side out.
Sinjin Smith with a great hit down the line. I thought Dodd just did a good job to get his hands on it.
The all-time winner with 80 open victories. Just pounds the ball. He and Stoklos have won more than any other team of all time. Well, I guess they have to be considered one of the great teams of all time, if not the best. Although you get some argument down at the beach from some of the old-timers, wouldn't you, Lynn?
Lengthy arguments, that's for sure. Nothing like those glory days. Tim Hovland in the black tank top with a side out with a hit.
Service line 8, looking at
Tim
4.
Hovland, 28 years old. His partner, Mike Dodd, as we mentioned, 30. And right now they are taking their time trying to get back on that scoreboard. They had the 7-0 lead, has been cut to 8-4. Two-hand set by Stoklos. Smith dinks it. Over in two very quickly.
He can get up. That man right there, Tim Hovland, out of the sand so quickly. And Smith a little surprised how fast that ball came back. Little dink shot by Smith. But watch how fast Hovland gets up. Watch him just right out of the sand. And if you ever walked across the sand, it's hard to walk across the sand, let alone jump out of it. Hov just explodes out of it.
And Sinjin Smith very frustrated, knowing that his team was down so much they can ill afford to make many more mistakes if they're going to come back and win.
One thing you cannot do in beach volleyball is set the ball right on the net anymore. With the big blockers up there, you have to keep it about a foot, foot and a half back. Another chance.
Still in play, though. And Sinjin Smith comes back after a fine set from Randy Stoklos in the third row and puts it away.
Really a game saver by Sinjin Smith, going all the way to the rope to save that play. That would have really hurt them. That would have made it 10-4. Now they have a chance.
Stoklos at the service line, 4 to serve 9.
Good angle here. Let's see if they go to Hovland or Dodd. They serve Hovland. Bump set by Mike Dodd. And the block is intimidating. Another chance for a point. And it is. Good strategy, well executed by the team of Smith and Stoklos.
You can see the coordination, especially from the long angle, of how they coordinate the block. Hovland this time, not in the right spot. Smith just blasts high by the block. He gets the point.
So now they start to creep back into the contest again a little bit. 9-5 they trail. And Randy Stoklos decides to towel off some of the sand off of his arms. And as we have a little break in the action, we'll tell you we'll be coming back here for more of the Light Beer USA Championship. Okay, back to volleyball action. Hovland and Dodd leading here 9-5. The game is to 15, remember. You can only score when your team serves. Mike Dodd hits it. It's dug by Sinjin Smith. And in two, Randy Stoklos with a left-handed tap down.
I think Sinjin Smith has really changed this match around. His digging, his defensive play, he's going all over the spot. Watch, Smith dug in, pops it up. Hat stays on, and Stoklos congs it down left-handed. But Smith has really changed the match. He's digging up everything.
Starting to get a little darker here in Manhattan Beach. The fog is rolling in, but Smith and Stoklos are coming back. As we mentioned, the fog is rolling in a little bit, cooling down the air, and the players are starting to put on some T-shirts now. And Smith and Stoklos hanging in there.
Used to be in the old days, Lynn, players didn't like to wear T-shirts. It doesn't look macho. You want to have your muscles out there bulging.
Hovland works the block side out.
The block does not work by Randy Stoklos, so we've got a side out. Tim Hovland played on one national championship team in volleyball at USC.
Service
Coach of
Hovland,
that team,
9-6.
Ernie Hicks. What a great team they had in 1980 with Dusty Dvorak, Tim Hovland, Pat Powers, Steve Timmons, all on the same team, Lynn.
Some of those names well known to people who follow the Olympics. Taking his time now. The players are starting to slow down a little bit. Get a little more deliberate. Two-hand set by Stoklos. Good little cut shot by Sinjin Smith, and no one can get that.
You have to wonder if Hovland might be struggling a little bit, maybe a little tired.
Well, at the start of the game, he was jumping so well on those blocks, and we're not seeing that now.
6-9.
And he should not be tired because they've only had to play a couple games today.
Well, perhaps he expended a lot of energy in the first half of the match. We'll see. Let's see this hit. Well, still effective.
Hovland angles to the corner, side out.
Sometimes what can happen, Lynn, you expend all your energy, you try to get points as quickly as you can, and then when you don't get them all, you suffer a little letdown.
And, of course, blocking can be very fatiguing, and that always puts a lot of pressure on the team of Smith and Stoklos because Randy Stoklos does a lot of blocking. That's his strength. But the players are certainly getting a little more deliberate now as we wind down here.
And it seems like Hovland and Dodd are being more deliberate, don't you think, Lynn?
Yeah, which they should hurry up and try to get it over with. Everything is going in their favor. It's almost like they're playing as if they're behind.
Slow down ball. Good up.
Chance for a point. Two-hand set by Stoklos. Oh, easily up, though, by Dodd. And a great hit by Mike Dodd.
Boy, a tough chance for Sinjin Smith and Randy Stoklos. They get that point. They really needed that one, and the key was the call. Off the net, Smith lobs high line, and Dodd is right there. Hovland gives Dodd a good set, but just the coordination was not there on that particular play for Smith Stoklos.
Mike Dodd, again, his team leading, only 5 points away from victory, taking his time. The team of Hovland and Dodd really don't do much with their serves. That's kind of a sky ball there, but not real high by Mike Dodd. Easily handled by Stoklos. And a nice little cut shot, and Dodd is caught leaning the wrong way.
And you could hear Sinjin Smith say over him. That time Randy Stoklos chose to use the little cut shot. Good choice.
And it may have thrown Dodd off. When he heard the call, he may have been thinking he was going to hit over and was leaning that opposite direction.
Well, we've said that a number of times. One of the things you can do on defense is listen for the opposition to make the call. If he says line, you run to the line. If he says cut, you run to the cut shot. Of course, if he hits, then you're dead.
Good dig by Sinjin Smith, but it goes over. Quick one. This time Smith is ready for it.
Hey!
And a big hit by Sinjin down the middle will work.
And another nice set by Randy Stoklos. Crowd getting into it.
Stoklos serving again, 7-10.
Defense can be so demoralizing, especially when you get your best hit, Doug. Watch Hovland. He's ready to go back to the service line, and Smith just pops it up like it was nothing, then rips it down the pipe.
Beach volleyball games at this level can go on, but the crowds here in Manhattan Beach, they're not going anywhere. They love it. They're used to it as well. They've seen all the great players over the years. Even Marlowe won here. Good up tie, Sinjin Smith.
Hey!
They were there, but they almost covered it too well, the team of Hovland and Dodd.
And Dodd and Hovland getting a little, well, perhaps a little frustrated. Ron Von Hagen, the great player, once told me, when you dig a player's best hit, sometimes they do funny things. They get a little weird, and that's what's happening right now. Sinjin Smith really digging. Stoklos setting well, and Smith bombing away. They're coming back.
Yeah, they've got to hear footsteps if you're Hovland and Dodd now. They led 7-0 at one point. Tim Hovland with just that effortless finesse shots that are just good enough to get the ball down, and that's all it takes. Matt Gage doing a little maintenance there on the volleyball, getting the sand off of it. Now it's shiny, clean, and ready to go.
And Hovland drops it right into the sand.
Tim Hovland really slowing down and taking his time.
I thought his father said he was a wide receiver. Those hands, they don't look so good to me.
Two-hand set by Randy Stoklos. Sinjin tries to go down the line. It is blocked effectively by Hovland, so maybe he is not tired. He likes that.
So does the crowd.
Hovland at the line, 11 serving 8.
Just a cross-court block by Hovland right into the back court. Nobody there. Hovland saving his strength for the important plays.
11-8. 4 points away from the championship, Hovland and Dodd. They've already won it 5 times.
Ball's good. Right there. High. Line.
Again a block by Hovland. This time, though, they get it up. Big hit by Randy Stoklos. No one will dig that one.
Side out.
Stoklos not getting a lot of opportunities to spike the ball, so when he does, he just punctuates it. The pass up. And when you're not getting served, you have energy, baby. And watch this go down.
Smith
Sizzles
serving,
it to the sand.
8-11.
So with that side out, Sinjin Smith, 30 years old, out of UCLA, makes his home in Santa Monica. Will put the ball in play.
Dodd works off the block, side out.
And that ball is good. So it's a good side out by Mike Dodd.
He's had a good career so far. $163,000 and money getting bigger and better every year.
Service Dodd, 11.
Volleyball players will be playing as long as baseball players to keep making that money.
And of course, Dodd with that height, he can probably hang in there for a long time. Additionally, he's a smart player. That's always going to be on his side. Two-hand set by Stoklos. Over the block, but Hovland is there to get it up.
Ball's good. Right there. High line. No one.
Dodd with a good one-arm dig. And then just hits it over. Into the middle, and that's the effectiveness of the middle. Both Smith and Stoklos almost overran it.
And we make
Mike
the
Dodd
switch.
doing the dirty work. He's such a favorite here at Manhattan Beach. Played at Mira Costa High School, a local, and went to San Diego State. Goes up and just belts this ball right in the middle. The two places you don't want to hit the ball on a volleyball court. To the left side player or to the right side player, right in those digging grooves. And Dodd that time, he hit it right down the middle. No one could get it.
So they will change sides, and they lead 12-8 here in Manhattan Beach, California. Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of winners here. Volleyball and a beauty contestant. Good little angle as you heard the call from his partner, Randy Stoklos, with a nice little cut shot. Nobody home.
Service
Just a
Stoklos,
placement this time.
8-12.
Dodd goes for the line. Stoklos gets a good call, makes a nice shot.
They are down 12-8. They really can't afford any mistake. Every hit now starts to become real critical. As you can see, Randy Stoklos, this is big-time money for him playing beach volleyball.
He's only 26, too, Lynn. He's won more tournaments faster than anyone else in history.
Hovland
He's
works
won
the
an
block.
average of 10 tournaments per year. That'll get the crowd going. Taking off the shirt.
So he figures
Hovland at the service
this is
line,
nervous
12
time.
serving 8.
It's time to get serious.
Hovland, you can tell he's playing well because usually he rips his shirt off in the middle of a play if things aren't going well.
High. No one. Yeah.
Oh, the hit by Smith is netted, and as a result, we got a chance for a point. But Smith and Stoklos get it right up easily and put it away. A golden opportunity there, I thought, for Hovland and Dodd, and Tim Hovland didn't do a whole lot with it, and so the opportunity slipped away.
Him isn't
Stoklos
jumping
angles side out.
exactly like he was at the start of the match. Watch Hovland jump. Well, we're not going to actually see his jump, but Stoklos pounds the ball by Hovland. I don't think Hovland's getting quite the lift out of the sand that he did at the start of the term. They're still winning, however, and that's a good sign.
It won't take much now. They're 3 points away from victory. Really, all they need are 3 mistakes by Smith and Stoklos.
And really, since that 7-point lead, Lynn, it's been a pretty even match.
Big block by Randy Stoklos. That's what he's known for. That's his strength, and he showed it there.
Serving 12.
And Hovland and Dodd might have to hang on. Tim just not pounding. Watch this. This is just an easy, soft little shot. Stoklos stuffs it. If I were Smith and Stoklos, I'd be all over Hovland right now. I'd serve him every time.
12-9. They still come back. They still got a long way to go, though. Hitting a sky ball on the serve.
And you notice Hovland lets Dodd take it this time.
No. Yes.
Oh, Stoklos almost blocked that one back, but Dodd with the angle gets it around the block.
Good punch shot, and Stoklos thought he should have had that one.
Two-hand set by Stoklos. Oh, dug by Dodd, but it goes over and out.
Dodd save goes wide. Side out.
You know, it's interesting when you're
Stoklos
watching a
at the
match
service line.
as opposed to
9,
playing in a
looking at
match. You do
12.
some things as a player that everybody comes up to you after the match and says, look, why didn't you serve Shackelford? He was out of gas. Or why didn't you serve Marlowe? He couldn't hit. And then you think back on it and you said, you know, that's right. And perhaps one day they'll have coaches.
Hovland gets his left arm and hand on it, but it can't get it up or control it. So that is a point for Randy Stoklos and Sinjin Smith, and here they come.
Stoklos at the line. 10,
The all-time winners in beach volleyball in number of tournaments won and money won. They've won 59 tournaments together.
Boy, what a comeback this would be, too, Lynn, down 7-0. But atone for that Palisades loss when they were up 7-0 and lost the tournament.
Good shot selection that time by Mike Dodd.
Side out.
And so they get the all-critical side out.
12 serving 10.
If you haven't seen beach volleyball, you're wondering what that AVP is on the ball. That's the Association of Volleyball Professionals, the union of professional volleyball players. Yes, they have a union.
And Mike Dodd is the president. Two-hand set by Randy Stoklos, right up on top of the net. Sinjin has to try to dink it. They're there for a point. Oh no, a missed set by Mike Dodd, and Randy Stoklos puts it down.
Those are the kind of plays that come back and eat you up. Dodd with an easy play that time. All he had to do was set Hovland. Hovland bangs it. They would have had another point.
Beach volleyball, because these players are so good, really often comes down to a game of mistakes.
Just one or two plays can really turn it around. You make that money play, I call it, and you win the money. If you don't, if your ball hits the net and comes back, well, you don't win quite as much.
Good all the way.
Tim Hovland
Come here.
goes up and hits. And that time with some authority, as Stoklos was a little bit late getting there for the block.
Well, it's always difficult
Hovland hits deep.
to
Side
block the player on the cross angle side. Hovland playing away from Stoklos, so Stoklos has to travel a few more feet.
Dodd to the line.
Didn't get there that
12
time.
serving 10.
Tim Hovland doesn't look tired right there.
And that's why they don't have coaches on the team of Hovland and Dodd, because Hov does all the coaching by himself.
I saw him do a lot of coaching even when he played at USC. Sinjin Smith will hit it. Blocked by Hovland, but Stoklos gets a great up. And Stoklos hits it. But there is Dodd. Stoklos with another great up. And Stoklos into the net, and the ball goes out anyway.
Pro beach volleyball the way it ought to be.
The crowd watching volleyball all afternoon still loves that point.
There's something about the great rally. Randy Stoklos makes two phenomenal plays. Dodd covering in the back, and he almost gets the third out. Watch this effort by Randy Stoklos. Diving in the back, then he's got to get up the set close to the net. Watch him come charging. I think he nets with his hat, actually. He's got a little visor on there. What an effort. He's got to be a little exhausted after that. Just plowing through the sand. Just thinking about the opportunity that got away. Those plays, I always say, are worth 2 points. 1 point you get physically, but the other point you get mentally. You just feel a lot stronger when you convert on a point like that.
So the players, as you can see, much more deliberate in the way they're moving now from the start of the game when the sun was out. The day starting to come to an end. They've been playing for 2 days in this double elimination tournament against the best beach volleyball players in the world. Amazing fact is that we talked about Manhattan Beach being a hotbed of volleyball. Of the last 16 players left in the tournament, 8 of them attended high school here in Manhattan Beach at Miracosta High School. So they've turned out some great ones.
A very popular sport, you might imagine.
Reach and snap.
A left-handed hit by Hovland, but Smith is there. Oh, and Stoklos just hits it over. And Mike Dodd puts it away. Tough break right there for Smith and Stoklos.
Boy, that one rally really seemed to do it. Hovland and Dodd getting the confidence. Smith and Stoklos, they lose that rally. They lose another point right after. I really believe this play is just the result of that last rally that was so exhausting. Stoklos goes to turn around. Remember how hard he worked? He tries to lay it up there softly, and it goes right over to Hovland. Sets his pal Dodd, and Dodd thunders it down.
That was kind of a tired miss that time by Randy Stoklos. And I tend to agree with you that Smith and Stoklos had the momentum and were really definitely in the match and coming back. And I think had Hovland and Dodd worried until that big, long rally.
And if Smith and Stoklos get that rally, maybe we see something different.
Serving 10.
But the way it stands now, we're at game, championship point, 14-10. They can win it right here. Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd. Cut shot. Dodd is up and hits it, and Smith can't get it. They're the champions. Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd.
The sixth time they have won Manhattan Beach. They have won Manhattan Beach more than any other team in history, surpassing Mike Bright and Mike O'Hara, the great team of the 60s. What an accomplishment.
That's a very popular win here in Manhattan Beach.
Really a great play to end it on. Dodd with the serve. Passes a little off. Smith with a cut shot. Watch this up by Dodd. Plows through the sand. And he gets up, and this is the most beautiful shot, the rainbow. Pulling out all colors. He freezes Smith. Rainbow finds the pot of gold.
They love it. Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd. A great win for them, and we'll come back here and visit with the champions in just a moment. It's been a long tournament. The champions are Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd. They are happy, and they are down courtside with Chris Marlowe.
Mike and Tim, first of all, congratulations. You played very well. Mike, a 7-0 start. You were playing very well. You hit a little lull, but the crowd really seemed to pick you up.
Well, I can't say enough for the people of Manhattan Beach. You know, I was born and raised here, and I grew up on this tournament. And since we've been winning it now for, I think, 6 years, Tim's become the unofficially adopted son of the city also. He grew up a little bit of ways, but the crowd is really behind us here in Manhattan, and it's just a great feeling. You're out there, and when you're down, they help pick you up. And even when you're not really concentrating or you're kind of flowing out of the match, they kind of get you back into it. You hear people screaming your name and go, "One more dig, come on, let's go." And it does everything for you. And I think it's part of the reason why we've had success here for 6 times.
Tim, one quick question. You've won Manhattan Beach now 6 times. Your thoughts on that, more than any other team in history?
My thoughts on it, that I'm glad that we've achieved 6 times. I think that Mike and I can probably do it hopefully 2 or 3 more times before we're done. I think we're still young enough and experienced enough to do it, and I feel ecstatic to have done it 6 times. Now let's try and get 7, 8, and 9.
Congratulations once again.
Thanks a lot, Si.
So congratulations to Tim Hovland and Mike Dodd. They win the USA Championships.